Hey, thank you for stopping by the Poop Dollar Podcast. In this episode, we have funny stand-up comedian Maggi Mayfield. We talk about her brand new comedy album that's out right now and what it was like to produce it all herself. And we talk about her new move down to Austin, Texas, and starting the whole comedy scene down there. We talk about relationships and a whole lot more. It was a good time talking to Maggi, talk about her time at iHeartRadio and having her own show there and her podcast. And so definitely like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Listen to us on Spotify or iTunes. That's it for now. We'll talk to you in the next episode. Take care. Maggi Mayfield, everybody.
Hi, Eric.
What's up? It's good to see you. You got a
too.
song for us. Go for it.
He's like, get right into it. I thought love was only found on Match.com. Meant for farmers and Christians too. I was on Tinder, and all I got was ghosted. Until I said the magic words I could host it. And then I saw his dick pic. Now I'm a believer. There's not a trace of jizz in my eye. And I'm in love. Ooh, I'm a believer. I couldn't let that go dry. But like, don't send an unsolicited dick pic, especially in Texas, because it's illegal. Because girls get together in the bathroom and we still compare notes. All the small things loudly I'll sing, 'cause filters, they can't lie. In your pants, my alibi. But you're still here. I might as well face my fear. So I'll get on top. He was done in 2 pumps, then asked if I came. Guess what I said? Na 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 this time.
Yeah, that was awesome. Maggi Mayfield, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead and put that down if you
You're
want.
like, we're done. No more musical part. You've done your part. Can you turn? I want to unplug it.
Oh, yeah. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. I get how audio works.
You do. And everyone listening to it appreciates it. Thank you. What is up? It's good to see you, Maggi.
You too, man.
Whoa.
This is not our first time
No.
like talking on the mics and stuff.
Not at all. I missed your challenge mic that you had on Wednesdays in LA. It was awesome.
Thanks. I miss it too.
It was fun, right?
We're trying to run it on Zoom.
Are you?
And there's regulars that come.
Nice.
But with anything, it's like you get online.
Yeah.
Have you done a Zoom show since the pandemic?
No.
It is it's so hard. It is so hard because everyone wants to do a regular show and they're like, it's 90 minutes long. You're like, no one has the attention span for that.
Yeah.
If it's under 40, if it's an hour, it's too long.
Wow.
It's too long.
Yeah.
Get me in and out in like 30 minutes. I want a TV show. Like, let's go.
Right.
So they're like 12 comics. Everyone gets 10 minutes. No, we're going to be here forever.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild.
It's different.
Yeah.
Different times for sure.
Yeah. So you're telling me you're doing stand-up and stand-up shows in Austin.
Yeah, man, that place is open.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Wow.
And it's not just LA that's going there either.
Uh-huh.
Like comics from everywhere, like New York.
Wow.
I hear them from Seattle.
Yeah.
LA, obviously.
Yeah.
That's like the big story, but.
And where are they playing? I mean, I don't know of any comedy clubs in Austin, but I've never been there, so I don't know.
Cap City is the big one, and I think they're opening back up in August. Okay. That's like the equivalent of like Hollywood Improv here or like Comedy Store. Right. But the Creek and the Cave in New York just opened up. They're opening up, I think, April 1st.
Okay.
So they moved from New York to Austin.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Dude.
Right? So like it's happening. And then because the mentality is so different there that like the underground bar scene, like everything's open. And so they're like, bring people in, like whatever that looks like. They're like, they're paying comedians to put on shows. I know. It's wild. Jeez. It's wild.
That's incredible. Yeah. So, I mean, what have you noticed since you've been doing live shows since it's been back? Like, as far as like, what kind of vibe is it? Like, people just want to jump back to like how things were, or do you feel like a new sort of styles being developed now that after the pandemic? Or, I mean, how do you see things? Is it? because I mean, I feel like, comedy was on its way of changing because some people, mostly college students, have gotten too sensitive, right? And people are trying to cancel other people for saying some wrong things. And, comedians are notorious for saying wrong things, I mean, you have to cross the line to know where the line is, right?
Yeah.
But like these people want to cancel them completely, or, object
The
to
cancel
what
culture
they're doing.
is real for sure. A huge shout out if you haven't heard already. Do you know Judy Gold?
Yeah.
She's she wrote a book called Yes, I Can Say That, and I literally just started it on the plane yesterday. I'm halfway through it, and it's fantastic. Like it's one of the smartest written books I've ever read, talking about just that and like the cancel culture. And she's like, no, if you come after the comedians, like we're all in trouble.
Right.
So
But
yes,
that's what they're doing. I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy.
it is.
I mean, because our president was saying some outrageous things, right, before he got elected.
I was like, which one?
While he got elected.
Which one?
You know what I mean? And that flies. And how can a stand-up comedian not say equally or less offensive things than he said, and they get totally, canceled? It's crazy.
Because we're trying to make a living saying that stuff, and he's just wild card.
That's
I think
wild.
that's where it's different.
Yeah.
I think it's different in Austin, like political stuff. It's hard to tell because the environment there is so different than in LA. Like LA, you just expect everyone to be very liberal and very democratic. And there they kind of don't talk about it. It's very middle of the road. It's very libertarian. It could be extreme right or left. You really don't know, but it is not an entertainment town. Like it is tech, it's government, there's a big school there. And yes, there's a big music scene.
Yeah.
But when you come out for comedy, people want to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like you go to open mics and they tip the producers of the mic.
Wild.
It's insane. And they're hungry for it. They're so happy.
Good.
And what's nice is like, I don't know about you, but listening to stand up pre-pandemic, it was Trump this and Trump that and Trump this. And you're like, cool, how many more times can we hear Cheeto Head,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But there, it is very personal. A lot of people are talking about like their experience through the pandemic. It's very like current event stuff, but with their own like flavor. They're smart. They're very smart.
Cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. Right on.
Come down sometime.
I'd love to.
It's fun.
And the food is good, huh?
Yeah, barbecue.
Yeah.
You know what?
What
is crazy? People, if you move from LA to Texas, they say Mexican food is terrible there.
Yeah.
They're like, it's just the worst because they're like, it's Tex-Mex with chili on it. And like, yes, that is a genre of like dish there, but
I
Mexico,
love Tex-Mex.
Yeah, who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
But the Mexican food that we have here is like Baja Mexico, and there it's like inland Mexico. You know what I mean? So it's like a different region. So it's not worse. It's just different.
It's just different. Yeah. That's funny that you say that because most people, they just think that it's one way, It's like, Mexico's a pretty big country, you know what I mean?
Italian food is the same too.
Exactly.
It's like, there's white sauce and red sauce. Like that's different.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. Sicilian food is completely different than mainland Italian food.
Yeah.
Or I mean, we just don't think of that, but that's pretty cool.
Are you staying active? Are you doing some of these like outdoor shows and?
Yeah. I'm trying to do as many outdoor shows as I can.
Yeah.
I ran that show at the Workaholics House, which you did.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I just got a notification on Facebook that, it was the anniversary of that St. Patrick's Day show.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you came out and that was what a great night. What a great experience was it outside.
You put together an amazing show every time.
You.
Yeah.
Thank
when
you.
Eric says like, we do my show, you're like, yes, please. Like, how can I help? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I'm going to have, people that I respect and love like you come out to my show, I'm not going to have them come out to a rinky dink thing. I really want to, make it a production and make it fun for everybody.
Yeah.
Including the comics,
People don't think about that. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
It's true. It's true. That's why I'm normally running around like a chicken without its head, trying to put things together, but it's all for a reason,
Because you're a talent. You're now a sound engineer. You're now a producer putting this lineup together. You're a stage manager. You also have to think about your audience and making them comfortable. And then like whoever is hosting that state, like give them a good reason to be there too. So it's a lot.
It's a lot, And when I first started doing this podcast, the same thing happened to me. Like I had to worry about the video equipment and then the audio equipment. And then, on top of that, be a good interviewer, a good host. And I'm thinking about 100 different things at once. It was just really painful.
Are crushing it. Yeah. Well, you're doing it,
thank
man.
you. Thank you. I heard some great advice that I really like is start before you're ready. You know what I mean? Because everyone's just trying to.
I'm right.
Yeah. Everyone's just trying to, okay, well, when I have like 2 minutes developed, then I'm going to start doing stand-up comedy, which most people that want to do stand-up, which maybe that's not a bad idea, but that 2 minutes will never come. You got to just start it. You just have to do it, and you have to fall on your face and learn from it and move on.
Yeah.
So, it's just something that stuck with me, and that's something that...
Do you remember your first set?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He's like, not sharing.
No. The thing is, like, what was very helpful for me to do is to get into a class, because I come from that, place because I was acting first, and I'm not just going to start acting without a class, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get in class. You need to find out, what the hell a mark is. You know what I mean? If you're going to hit your mark, you need to know what a mark is, right? So I got into, one acting class after the other. So I came from that, school of thought where you need to learn, the basics to get going in it. So, I was already 4 years in as an actor, and I was like, I knew there was more out there for me, and I wanted to do stand-up comedy. So I figured I'd take a class and see where that would take me, and it was great. Laying down a foundation and knowing what. So we had probably 5 weeks to develop a 7-minute set.
Wow,
which we did in the belly room. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Who was the class?
Greg Dean. He's been teaching class in LA for probably over 30 years now. Yeah. I mean, he's had Anthony Jeselnik was one of his students.
Yeah.
Andy Garcia, believe it or not.
No big deal.
Yeah. So he had some really good students that have come out of there, and so it was very beneficial, and that's what I recommend people to do to get into class. And
you were teaching some.
Yeah.
Right before the pandemic, I know.
Yeah. I was teaching. Here's another thing, not because I think I'm like the greatest person to teach stand-up comedy, but I was also taught that when you teach something, it gets more ingrained into your memory.
That is so true.
It is
so true.
It's very true, and I had so much fun with it, and I have so much respect for stand-up comedy that I wouldn't dare try to mess that up in any way, shape, But I believe that it's in you whether you're funny or not. I wasn't teaching them to be funny. I was just teaching them how to hold the microphone. How just
to move the mic stand.
Yeah, I mean, just some really basic things, that people don't think about. But just knowing that will cut your learning curve in at least it'll shave off 3 or 4 months.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Because so many people go through the whole hack things of getting up on stage and I don't how do you do this and stuff like that. You don't want to what I mean, go through that in a class and do that in front of other people that are learning stand-up comedy so that the real audience doesn't have to go through that. So that's where I think it's beneficial.
The little tips and the tricks.
Just little tips and tricks. When I did stand-up comedy, I learned from when I did martial arts, that's where I was taught that teaching other people gets more ingrained in your head because martial arts is like that, it doesn't take a black belt to teach a white belt, white belt techniques. If you're an orange belt, you could teach a white belt, white belt techniques. It's just the basics. It's, how to stand. You're taught how to stand.
I love that. Yeah.
It's always stuck with me, and that you could apply with anything.
Yeah. That's so funny that you say that. So I'm a voice actor, and I run these things called a voiceover boot camp where I basically just break it down to as simple as I can, how to start your own business as a voice actor. Yeah. And I talk about some technique and interpreting copy, how to self-direct, all the business side of it. There's a lot that goes, it's a 5-day camp,
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that feels a little hacky doing it, but it's like, no, I've done this. Like I'm obsessed with this.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. Like I was successful, I did it. I'm doing it on my, like I work for myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you can teach. You can.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I mean, lots of times, we have that self-doubt, like who am I to think that I could teach something?
Who's going to pay for this?
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there that would like to learn from your experiences, and what you went through. And it's like, you never know what's going to stick in another person's head.
So true.
You know what I mean? And what you say
Yeah.
to them, you never know if that's going to be something that just, follows them, and that's helpful to them.
Yeah.
So
that's so true.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's really good to hear that you're teaching a voiceover class, and that's awesome, but there's people out there that want to learn, and
it is a pandemic proof industry. Let me tell you.
There you go.
If you can get over the hump of like having to figure out a computer and a microphone, like, and how to get that started, you can do it.
Yeah.
And I do help with that. Not trying to like sell my thing, but I'm just saying like,
yeah, no, hey,
like, here's what I say. I always say this. I'm like, there have been millions of people that have done XYZ before me. I certainly can do it too.
Right,
Like I am smart enough. Like I can figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally.
And that's what Google and YouTube are for.
There you go.
Like, and then if they can't answer the question, it's like, okay, that's what Facebook is for.
No, totally. So. I am a student of YouTube University, and I'm constantly on there learning stuff. I mean, everything you see here, what got me here is YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if you want to learn how to do something, YouTube.
Yeah.
Can
we just like shout out to how great it is that they're transcribing all those videos now, so you don't have to sit and listen to these people's voices. You can just watch and read it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
That's the best.
Well, it is the best, Well, analytics told them that 80% of videos are watched with the sound off because they're at work or in some place where they're not supposed to be, watching it or stuff like that. And so that's the case, that's awesome. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that to this podcast,
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it is exhausting.
When you have to like do it on your TikTok video, you're like, oh, okay. Are you on TikTok?
No.
Are you doing that?
Well, I started an account and I put a video up there. I started for my drone videography.
Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't start a personal one just because it's like I want to, but like there's so many things that I'm distracted from already.
Yeah.
And I will eventually, put one up, but
no, you don't have to. You don't. You can be like an Instagram creeper. You know what I mean? Like have the account and just like scroll and watch and stuff because it is entertaining.
Yeah, it is.
But making those videos, it's so intimidating because you want to be good and really funny, but there's so much work that goes into it.
I bet.
Ugh.
I bet.
Yeah. I don't have the mental bandwidth to do it all the time. These young kids that are like, I'm like, where do you come up with these stories?
Yeah. No, that's a skill. It's a skill. I mean, and proof is that guy that was drinking the cranberry juice.
Right.
Yeah,
that
guy just blew up. Huh?
Yeah. He had his minute.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for him, man. God bless him, man. That's, so you were saying you're a voiceover actor. I mean, us as comedians, we do so many different things,
Right.
It's wild. And, you had your own radio show on iHeartRadio.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about that?
iHeartRadio. Well, I had a podcast, which we were on, which is called Y-Tune Shuffle. Unfortunately, we're not recording that anymore.
It was so much fun. And the concept of your podcast was awesome. And you told me to pick five songs that meant something to me.
Yeah, that just reminded you of a person, place, or time in your life, and you told that story, and that's where the interview jumped off from. So we connected on the song, and it was like,
that's so. I mean, what a great concept, and I thought that was a great idea for a podcast. And you and Michael, right? What was his name?
David Waterman. Yeah.
Such a funny guy. What a great co-host.
Yeah.
And you're a great host.
Thank
and
you.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it really was. It's but like producing anything takes so much time and effort. And I feel like I'm not even that old, but I'm like, I'm so tired of producing. Like, I just want to be talent. Like, I just want to show up and like be extra, you know? But like in a kind, I'm here to help you. You know, I'll carry your stuff upstairs. Like, you know, like awesome. That's fine. But yeah, just sitting down to like edit it, just the knowing that that it was going to be a good 3-hour, 4-hour process to put it all together. Brutal, and then you have to like upload it. And that's not even including like the promo images. It's a lot. Work, huh? And that doesn't even include the time it took to like record it and like set it all up. And it's a lot.
Wow. Did you take that on all yourself or did David help?
David helped a lot with like the booking of it and the promoting of it, but most of it was me.
Oh, okay. Most of the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that show. But I'm tired.
I don't blame you.
Here's the thing is that if the pandemic taught me anything, it's like so pre-pandemic, my hand was in a lot of pots. I was producing 4 different live shows, a podcast, an afternoon radio show on iHeartRadio here in LA. And then trying to be a talent on top of that. It's just too much. Like your brain is a million different places and you're like, I'm going to write material. No, you're not.
Right.
You know, like you got other stuff to do just to exchange for stage time. Right.
Yeah.
But in the pandemic, when everything was like, nope, you can't do any of it. It's like, okay, well, what do I want to focus on? And when you put all of your energy on that one thing, it like explodes. So the voiceover thing for me, that was all I had. That was it. And then by the end of the year, by December, I had tripled my income from what I was making in April.
Wow.
It's wild. It's crazy when that whole energy stuff, like that's real.
It's real, huh?
Right? You focus and you manifest it. And it's like, right?
Yeah. No.
So that's what happened to me. Now I'm like, why would I want to go back? Like, I was exhausted, crabby, cranky. You know what I mean? And now like I'm writing so much more material. Like I don't have to work that hard to have fun and play. You know, do stand up like what we want to do. So.
No, that's awesome. And you figured it out. And it's from doing.
I don't know if I figured it out, but it's just like that's what happened.
Yeah. No, that's great. You know, I mean, sometimes we're doing things and we don't know why we're doing them, but we hope for a good outcome,
Yeah.
And lots of times, the good outcome is, the learning that you get from doing that one thing.
So, yeah. So
it's all about learning.
Yeah. And I started that voiceover stuff too, because believe it or not, working in radio, you don't make a lot of money. It isn't a lucrative business. They pay you in concert tickets and free food, gas cards, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I figured out pretty early that doing voiceover on the side was like a quick way to make a lot of extra cash. All the studio stuff was right there at your fingertips.
Right.
So I did that like as soon as I landed here in LA, started figuring out like how to find these jobs.
Yeah.
Cause it's not Googleable. Like you can't, where do I find voiceover work? It's like a weird secret for whatever reason.
It is. Yeah.
And so I just started plugging away at that. And then right before the pandemic in 2019 in July, I quit all my jobs. So I wasn't Ubering anymore. I wasn't producing that show anymore. I just quit everything and worked for myself. And then 5 months later, when the pandemic hit, I was like, oh, wow, I'm lucky. 7 months, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like humble bragging in like a really kind of gross way.
No.
But I feel there's not a day that goes by where I'm not like, I'm so blessed. Like, thank you, universe.
Yeah.
I am very aware of how fortunate I am.
Yeah.
So.
No, Well, I mean, it's just, some people see all the good things that are happening to you, and they think that that you had everything handed to you, and they don't see all the work and all the times that you didn't get jobs and the times that you were out of work, when you weren't killing it, and they don't see that part of, they just see all your successes. So.
Right? They think like, oh, you're doing a morning show.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And you're like, yeah, but I was only making $20,000 and they paid me by giving me a gas card and like free food. So it didn't really pay rent. I mean, it did, but it was like, I was sleeping on a futon.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So.
Yeah. And then you were Ubering and you're just trying to make it work.
Yeah. That wasn't even in LA. That was like,
oh, really?
When I first started.
Oh, wow.
In little old Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're Ubering over there?
No, Uber didn't exist yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, here in LA, like Ubering. Yeah, you have to do all the things because it's so expensive to live here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
really.
embarrassing when I tell people how much I paid for rent here.
I know. Is that one of the reasons what made you leave?
I kind of. Yeah. It's a very long story, but I wound up in Florida before I came back.
Oh, okay.
I came back like halfway.
Yeah.
But I have family that lives in Austin.
Okay.
So I've been there like a bunch of times before that. So I already kind of had a toe in the comedy scene there. Like
Okay.
I knew some people.
Yeah.
Which made it a lot easier to like dive in head first as soon as I got there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Do you have any plans of coming back to LA, or do you think you'll stay in Austin, or you don't know?
I think where I'm at politically, I'm good. Like my family's there. It's like my kind of weird, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty, and I hate talking about this like political stuff, but it's pretty middle of the road. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't hate you if you like Trump, and I don't hate you if you like Biden. You know, it's just like, you do you. Like what works for you, works for you. What works for me is different.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But people don't like that answer here. And I just feel like.
You got to pick a side, right?
Yeah. And I just feel like it's not the truth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if I have to like shield that because I'm afraid that someone's going to cancel me because of the way I think, which I mean could happen anywhere, but the internet's strange.
Yeah, it sure
know.
is. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I don't know where they get off thinking that, I'm going to express my feelings of what political party I'm with on Facebook. That will,
and it's not even like just express it. They're like playing a victim card that doesn't even need to be there.
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I never remember, hearing or seeing so much political stuff in my life than have in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like, politics, that's what you want to talk about? Like,
I know.
You're old. You know what I mean? I'm getting up there in age and I'm not talking about that bullshit, like Jesus, there's more things.
I got stuff to binge.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Right.
What are you binging? What are you watching?
Oh my God. I was hooked on Making a Murderer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't finished it. So
the first one or this?
Oh, I don't know. There's more than one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's
so
like
I think
2 seasons of it. The second one you can skip through.
Oh, okay.
You can kind of fast forward through it.
But it's the same story, right? It's the same guy? Okay, yeah. I think I may be on the second season of the, I'm on the second season. I probably have like 4 more episodes to go.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was that long going into it.
Yeah.
But it just keeps going.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It keeps going, and it's wild. That's
so good.
Yeah, so good. So I've been watching that, but I normally binge. Now I'm having trouble saying binge, but YouTube videos. I go down a rabbit hole of videos.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing.
I don't know. People do that.
Yeah. What about you?
The Tiger King, of course. I mean, that was like a year ago.
Yeah,
Did you watch that?
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the conspiracy theories out of that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was. Did you see that lady on Dancing with the Stars?
Carol Baskin?
Yeah.
She was?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't have cable.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like follow that stuff anymore.
Yeah, me neither. But
he was like excited.
Yeah.
Can she dance? I hope she was in like leopard print the whole time.
I think she was. I don't know.
That would be terrible.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of against everything that she goes for.
Oh man. What else?
I just finished Bridgerton.
Okay.
Did you watch that one?
No.
Do you know anything about it?
No.
Basically, they're just delightful English people, and there's a lot of like hot sex scenes in it. But the story is so simple, but it's so good. It's so compelling.
Oh, okay.
And now Firefly Lane. I know it's like all the chick shows. That's it. That's what I'm watching. You're like, I don't know what you're saying. This sounds boring. Blah.
Yeah. So when the pandemic happened, did you let yourself go at all? Did you pig out on food or booze it up at all? Or did you maintain the same person you are or you were?
I rested.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but like it was LA gets to you.
Mm-hmm.
Life gets to you.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
was just a lot of shows, too much stuff. And I stopped and I watched what everyone else was doing for a minute. You know, like all of our friends make cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been so busy. I haven't had a chance to like see any of that. So I bought friends' books and like,
oh, cool.
You know, listen to other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
And it was like, what are you doing? What have you been up to?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did that for like a month. It was awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then I was like, I guess I'll try these Zoom shows. And that kept me pretty busy and
yeah,
it was fun.
right on.
And then I made an album.
Yeah.
And then
wow, a comedy album?
yeah.
Oh,
It's just a musical
comedy
album. Yeah. I just wrote, it's not big. It's like 5 songs.
Where can people find it?
All the places.
Nice.
Like Spotify, iTunes, you know.
Very cool.
Where you get music.
What's it called?
YouTube. It's called Pandemic Girl.
Oh, cool.
So it's just a bunch of like parody songs that I wrote. And like what's cool about it is that I figured out via YouTube like how to master and edit and like mix all this stuff. So it sounded like if you were to play it on the radio, it would mix in with what was on the radio, you know? So I had to learn all that EQ and the
yeah. So you had to go back and like tweak the audio and then listen to it and see if it, you know, if it improved it or not, or.
Yeah. So it, like when you record raw audio, it's very thin. So when you record raw audio, it's like very thin. There's not a lot of depth to it. I'm not sure how to explain it, but when you go in and like, when you master it and compress it and you work with the EQ, it thickens the audio. So it sounds bigger. Like it sounds louder. Like there's just more richness to it.
Is it more full?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so I just learned.
Like you're adding layers to it or something?
I mean, I did do that, like some claps and beats in the background and sound effects and stuff, but not a ton of that. But it's really just thickening the audio. So it's like, there's just more like richness to it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I learned how to do that. And then like for the album cover, like I didn't know Photoshop. So I figured that out.
Isn't
like
that
I learned.
Painful?
It is. Yeah.
That's just
but what else was I doing?
Right.
You
exactly.
know, like what else was I doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It tickled me and also made me realize like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, but it was fun for it was fun for me. It was a fun like me project. So
wow. So you shot and edited your own album cover? Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just I don't know if you know much about Blink-182.
Yeah.
But it's just a parody of their Enema of the State with like the nurse with the glove.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about? And she's got like the red bra on or whatever. And I was like, that's hilarious in a pandemic with the gloves. So
you did a parody of that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It came out really cool.
Awesome. I gotta see that. And it's out right now?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
Do it.
Yeah.
So that was my big pandemic project.
Okay.
Did you do one? Did you have a big project?
Well, you know what? Like you said, what else were we gonna do but stay home, right?
Yeah.
And watch, TV or videos. I was watching how-to videos. Okay. And that was how to edit video, because that stuff is just wild. And it's kind of like learning how to edit on Photoshop because I use the same software for the video.
Adobe.
Yeah, Adobe. Yeah. Exactly. And so
that was a pain in the butt too.
Oh,
Premiere. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's like,
and you don't have like the vocabulary to figure out what you want to do. You're like, I know what I want it to look like. What are the words?
Right. No.
How do you Google that?
And just like, if you bring up Adobe or Premiere on your computer and you look at it, it's just so intimidating, right? Numbers and knobs. You're like, God, what? It drove me wild because this is something I've been wanting to do for years because I've always wanted to edit my own comedy sketches, but it was just so intimidating, Premiere to just look. I have ADD, so like I can't focus on one. That's why I wasn't good at school because I couldn't focus on one thing. My eyes were all over the place. Like, what does that do? What does that do? Like
couldn't put it in a line.
Yeah, right. Couldn't put it in a line. But that's where YouTube has been extremely helpful for me because I'm a very visual person. Cool. So like it teaches me and visually, and that's where I learn best. So
amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Go YouTube.
Yeah, go YouTube.
This episode brought to you by YouTube.
Yeah. And not only that, it's like I was learning with my drone videos that I built up a pretty big library of just drone footage, right? So I had so much footage I could go in there and try to edit, And editing is one of those things where you sit down in front of the computer and then 10 hours later, you're still there.
No
and you're just
joke.
It's wild.
No joke.
Yeah.
It is a time suck for
sure. Yeah. but it's crazy how it just goes by without you even noticing, you know, and you're just like, wow, 10 hours has gone by and I just worked on this one effect, you know?
Yeah.
Like this
You're
one thing,
yeah.
you know, you barely just did one thing. And that, you know, that's how the learning process is too. It's very painful, you know, because like, you know, all these hours are spent like just learning this one thing, and then you try to apply it, and it, you know, it just takes so long. It was brutal. Yeah. But we had is time, and it was like, and it had to be spent indoors. So
and you're like, I already watched all of Netflix.
Oh,
so
you know, no, like I mean, I figured, you know, if this is because I knew that's what needed to be done for me to learn this stuff, right? I wasn't going to go to like a community college to learn video editing or any of that stuff. I knew that YouTube was the thing that was teaching me all this stuff, because before video editing, it was carpentry, you know?
Really?
Yeah. I was like, cause like I was like the least handiest person you've ever met. Okay. Like I couldn't do anything, you know? And, so through YouTube videos, I learned how to do stuff, and it gave me more confidence to
YouTube
like,
turned you into Jesus. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Thank you. So that's what I was doing, and here we are.
Yeah. I love that when you can you're like, I'm obsessed with this. I'm going to learn it no matter what it costs. Yeah. Time-wise, right?
Right.
And I figure it out.
Yeah.
That was guitar. I picked that up. I got my first guitar when I was 15, and I never had a lesson.
Wow.
I just figured it out. There was like pictures, and I picked up books, and I was like, this is cool. I think this is how, so I don't even know if I know how to play it. Like,
wow.
Right?
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
I love
great.
that. Yeah.
I love that too.
Yeah.
I love that, you know, because it just goes to show that if you really want something, you got to just go for it and just start doing it.
And the thing is too, is like, I didn't pick that up at 15 thinking like, I'm going to be in a band or a rock star. Like I just did it for me. Like it was fun. It is still fun. Yeah. They call it play an instrument for a reason. Have fun. You got to play.
Yeah. Right? You play. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So what's your game plan now that you're in Austin?
That's a great question. I don't know. It's just so fun right now. Like it's so new to me. Yeah. So I'm just having a good time. Like they're just kind of my kind of weirdos, but I think I've been working on my act, and they love me down there. Like the couple producers I know, like I just keep getting booked, and I'm doing longer sets, like 30 minutes, 25 minutes here and there. So I'm just working on putting together a good 45 minutes. And I think I'm going to put out another album this year, because I've got so many songs. I just don't know what to do with them all. Yeah. That is so cool. And then hopefully like hit the road soon. Hit the road. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. No, I'm so happy for you. No, and that's cool that you like where you are, because I remember, you know, I haven't moved to many different cities, you know, it seems like you have because of your radio career, right? And so it's really cool moving into a new city where like things are new to you and stuff like that, and you go through that whole feeling of, wow, what's that? It's a library. Wow. You know? I mean, in Texas, because everything's like Lyndon B. Johnson, JFK, you know, like there's a lot of, you know, because that's where he got shot. Oh, he did? Oh, man. Well, I think LBJ was from here. He was from there. Oh, okay. But that makes more sense. Oh, yeah. But in Dallas, they have a lot of like JFK stuff too. Oh, nice. Or the history buffs. Yeah. Right on. Very cool. And so you were telling me that you're in LA for a friend's birthday. Yeah, doing Miss Julia Pels. She was like, please don't let me turn. Can I say someone else's age? That's terrible. I shouldn't even say it. But she's like, please don't let me get older without, in a pandemic. And I was like, okay, I'll be there. Yeah. You're a good friend. Not calling her out. Yeah. No, well, just coming for it and being here. Yeah. Tickets are cheap. They're like $88 right now. Oh, nice. That's what I spent on a flight for sure. Very cool. So good. Yeah. I feel like if you aren't terrified to travel, now is the time to do it. Yeah. Because it's so cheap. Wow. It's so cheap. Very cool. Yeah. Although, like, you don't get, have you been on a plane yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they give you now, like, those plastic bags with, like, a water and pretzels and, like, sanitizer. And you're like, cool. I didn't want any of this.
Right.
Why did I buy this whole big bottle?
Yeah,
like I normally do before.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wanted a ginger ale, jerks. But whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like flying now is even more different than it was after 9/11.
Really?
It's just weird. I was literally sitting on the plane next to this lady. This is how wild this pandemic is to me. This lady sat next to me. She had the N95 mask on still, which is fine.
Yeah.
She had glasses and the visor, the face shield in front of her. And I was like, that's cool if it makes you feel good. Like, do you. You do you. But then we land. She pulls out her hand sanitizer and I was like, okay. And I'm watching her and she had the little bottle that comes in those like bags that they give you. She sanitized all that. I was like, that's going to taste gross later. Let me put your mouth on that. She takes out her phone and starts sanitizing her own phone. I was like, who touched it?
Yeah.
What happened between when you sat down? Like,
that's hilarious.
Where is this happening? But
yeah.
she is germ free.
Yeah.
In case you were wondering.
So were you required to wear the mask during flight?
The whole time.
The whole time still?
The whole time.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Do you think you'll get the vaccine? No.
I also had it. I had Corona back in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they say it's like 3 to 5 months of like immunity.
Yeah.
But I don't want it. I don't.
Yeah.
My body, my choice.
Yeah. There it is. It's true. Yeah. And what kind of?
Are you going to get it?
How
many times do you answer that question on your podcast? Is this like what you talk? You must talk about this a lot.
No. You're probably the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe second one.
Are you gonna do it?
I'm just curious because it's just something. We're on the subject, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn between getting it or not because a lot of these acting gigs, they were paying me to get the test.
Yeah.
So I was getting paid money for each test. So
yeah, you did post something about that on Facebook.
Yeah. So I was getting test after test after test, but they were paying me for it.
Yeah.
Which is I kind of I'm kind of like exactly.
Cha-ching.
So I'm worried if I get the vaccine, then I won't get paid for that test anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it was wild coming into LAX. They have that whole testing center.
Oh, they do?
Right in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like I was just trying to figure out where to go to get your Uber now because they can't come through.
Yeah.
It's different, but
that's right. That Uber thing is weird now too. You go to a different location. It's not
How do I even get there? Yeah. And then, but now you can drive up to get a rapid test. That's the last place I'd want to go to get tested.
Know,
you know what I mean? Like everyone hates LAX.
Yeah,
avoid it like the plague.
Right.
But,
you just want to get out of there.
Yeah. Not like...
Yeah.
You don't want to be in LAX and get the worst news of your life. Like, you have the corona.
Right. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. And you were telling me you got a show at the Hollywood Improv after this?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go I think it's still kind of like underground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like the first one. So it's weird to find shows here. So I don't know about you, but like Facebook is kind of where most of the networking happens, for comedians, I think. Mm-hmm. So like if you're going to go out of town, you're like, hi, I'm going to be in town from this date to this date. And then everyone's like, cool, we got a show. Show me a link. Blah, 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 right? That's how it happens.
Yeah.
But this time I was like, no one knows anything. No one knows anything. Yeah. Why is it such a secret?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it a secret to you? Is it hard being here and like trying to find stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Just me. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
It's because I'm a woman. I guess.
No, I don't want to seem like a super smart person. It's just, I guess, being on Facebook and Instagram and, hearing from other people.
You live here and people are like, do my thing. Do my show.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I haven't been doing many shows at all. Though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because most of them were Zoom and, so the live shows have not, I haven't done many. Mm-hmm. So I just been taking a break and just,
I was like, do you miss it?
Yeah, I miss it a lot.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to go back into stand-up comedy when everything is going to be, COVID related, like, like we're used to hearing other comedians' jokes one right after the other, especially if you're going up last or towards the end or this and that. So, I mean, I don't know. I just, I think, I'm tired of hearing it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this whole podcast, you're like, I'm miserable. Is this show over yet? It's like, that's all she wants to talk about. It's so weird because I don't. It's,
okay.
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just different. I guess we're just like, hi, comedy. How is it now for you?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess how we develop bits and stuff like that. How long does it take for bits to get developed? Months? Sometimes years. Yeah. So I mean, you're like talking about it and you're working it out. So it's just repeating, I guess, the same stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Let me just tell you, because of that, don't date a comedian. You hear the same thing all the time. And then behind closed doors, it's still the same thing. You're like, oh no.
Oh no.
My brain is like,
Yeah. No, That's
You're
hilarious.
like, been there, yeah.
Oh my God.
You didn't even think about it.
Dating a comedian. There's just so many. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, and there's 100 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's good and bad. But like one of the things that I always dreaded is breaking up with that person and then having to see that person at shows and stuff and being on the lineup. But now that everyone's moving everywhere, you really don't have to worry about that so much.
Yeah. I mean, because we are coworkers, really. Yeah, essentially.
Exactly.
And you forget that. Like, it's easy to think like you're waiting tables. Like, don't date the cook. Well, okay, obviously. But like, you're hanging out. We're in bars. It's dark. It's late. We're like, oh, I'm lonely. You're funny. And kind of hot.
Right,
Exactly.
It's like,
okay.
I mean, that's where we are. Like, I know you were constantly doing shows. I was out like 6 nights a week, sometimes 7, just out there and stuff like that. So, I mean, the people who we see is our coworkers, so I could see how, comedians,
and the lines
get in relationships.
And the lines get blurred too, because you're not just coworkers, now you're friends.
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
You get a beer or two and anybody, and we're all like,
hey,
give it to me.
How you doing? Give it to me. I love it. Yeah.
So
it's great.
Yeah. But that's, it is funny though. And I think it extends. So like, I'm just starting to like hang out with someone and his friends are warning him like, oh, be careful what you say around her. Like, she's a comedian. Anything you say can and will be held against you. I'm like, I'm not like that. I promise. Your life is not that interesting. I don't want to put it in a bit,
That's hilarious.
So it's kind of like, can you tell regular people anymore? Like, what
yeah,
you do?
I try to avoid telling people I'm a comedian as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially at parties. Like I don't want to go through that.
Let me share with you.
Yeah, please do.
One thing. So the South is amazing in the sense that they, the gentlemen, they're very chivalrous down there. They are very attentive to the women down there. And there are 2 old men that are very sensitive to like where I'm at all the time. So they'll see me go for a run. They see me carrying my guitar case to my car, like going to a show, like, yeah, see you later. Like, they're very, so when they figured out this one guy, old Steve, he lives right underneath me. He's like, do you hear me coughing and hacking down there? And I'm like, no, Steve, it's fine. He's like, well, I'm real lonely. You mind talking to me for a few minutes? Like, it's adorable.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, okay, Steve, like, what's up? And every time I see him, he's like, oh, he's like, I got 3 sons and they're all taller than you. Like, of course they are. Yeah. 2 of whom I've met. But anyway, so when Steve found out that I was a comedian, he was like, I got a good joke for you. And if it's funny today, it'll be funny next week. I was like, give it to me. I need to know. This is probably wildly inappropriate, but Steve says, he's like, my wife said to me, I want 6 inches and I want you to make it hurt. So I made love to her twice and I punched her in the mouth. I was like, cool. On that note, I'm going to go. I don't even know what to say to you anymore. Like, thank you. And it's wild, the reaction that I get from people when I tell that story. Like, half the people are like, bah! And then like the other half are like, okay, yeah. Not funny, but okay.
Yeah.
Good try, Steve. Okay.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But he always puts on a pot of beans.
Does he?
Always.
Oh,
that's what I always say.
God bless him.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Steve, how's it going? What you doing? Well, I put on a pot of beans today. Good. Your son's coming over? Well, they'll be here this weekend to look at my car. Good. All right. Good. Gotta look out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta look out.
Wow. And I'm not familiar with Austin. Are places close by? Are you driving around a lot for gigs? And Or like, how's that?
It's spread out,
Mm-hmm.
but not like LA spread out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not as much traffic. Although the locals will tell you that it's so busy now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not difficult to get around. It's not. What's difficult is figuring out parking. But I think I'm just so sensitive because LA is like, there's a million signs that you have to figure out.
Yeah.
And then like one time I got.
Just for street cleaning.
You're right.
Yeah.
I racked up $1,400 in parking tickets
What?
when I first moved here.
Oh, wow.
It was so bad. It was so bad. I finally just said like, here, you can just have my car. Like I can't afford it. It's not even worth this much anymore.
Wow.
Like you can just have it. So I surrendered the car.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was like, I'd rather Uber, like
Yeah.
I can't afford to get that. Like I didn't have $1,500 for all that to get it back. Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough to live here.
No.
But I figured out the subway system pretty quick. Yeah.
Here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this is how you get to and from work.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is it? It was not cool at the time. I was like, I'm a loser.
That's what I mean. Like, I didn't know anybody who does it.
Yeah, I'm
That's
a
why
loser.
I thought it was cool.
Although, like, I hear
And
people.
you're a woman, like, it's like, there's, that's awesome.
Thanks.
You're doing it.
Yeah. Spent a little time in New York. So it's like,
Oh, okay.
you
Right on.
figure it out. You're like,
Yeah.
just be alert,
Yeah.
I say, like, you don't have to be afraid. Just be aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you encountered any, kind of like animosity since you're out of state and you're moving to Texas?
Yeah, they don't like us there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like us there because we're driving up their property tax. But here's why I love it is like I work for myself and there's no state income tax.
Mm.
So it's like
Right.
that 13% that we're paying here is like mine all of a sudden,
Yeah.
which I won't really feel till next year, but
Mhm.
it's pretty great.
Yeah. No, that's
and
awesome.
it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I'm paying less now for a 1-bedroom apartment with a washer and dryer. It has a fireplace, a dishwasher, free cable and Wi-Fi, and I pay less than $1,000.
Oh, wow.
I was paying almost $1,300 to live here a month,
Yeah.
and that was splitting it.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a pool.
Yeah.
it didn't have a workout room. Like, like what is this? This is fancy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a grown up now, right? And when you're making the same amount of money and you have all this, like, it's
Yeah.
it's hard not to spend it all.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's Austin.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
That is good.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And there's a lot of places in Texas that you could go to do road gigs, other cities and stuff. It's pretty cool.
It is big.
Yeah.
They call it the greatest American country in America.
Mm.
It really is. It's wild. It's a different world, really.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I believe it. So I got these pod decks here. They have questions. So I just want to ask you some random questions. Is that okay?
Of course.
All right. This one says, talk about your guilty pleasures.
Talk about my guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Is eating ice cream by myself, like
That's a
in
good
front
one.
of the Netflix. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even guilty. Like, I just do it. Like,
No shame?
no, I mean, the shame comes when the lactose intolerance finally hits, and I'm like, what did I do? Was it worth it? It was worth it. But then you can't sleep, and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
A guilty pleasure.
That's a good one. I like ice cream.
Oh yeah, what's your flavor, Eric?
Jerry Garcia.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Cherry Garcia.
Cherry, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's.
Okay. Your favorite 3 purchases this year?
3 purchases this year. My guitar.
Yeah. Oh, that's a new one?
Yeah, I
Okay.
just bought that. It is a 2007 Esteban. It's like a vintage.
Oh,
but listen,
yeah.
I got it for $125 off of Craigslist because the guy had too many guitars and his wife was like, get rid of some of this stuff.
Oh.
It is beautiful.
It is nice.
I
Really
love
nice.
this guitar.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be able to like plug it in at shows so people could hear what I was playing.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everything in my apartment right now. I just broke up with someone right before Thanksgiving, and I moved to Austin with nothing. I literally had nothing. I had
Yeah.
the clothes, and some yearbooks in a box, and that's it.
Yeah.
So everything I own now this year is like mine. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like a new couch, pots and pans, like a broom. I pull out my broom and I'm like, this is my broom. You know what I mean? Like, I am excited. My washer dryer, I was like, it's mine.
Yeah,
like, it's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I bought a lot of things this year.
Oh, right on.
But it's like little by little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So you gave up, like, you're just like, you keep it. I don't want to bring it with me, or was it all his stuff?
It was all his stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like I met him. I did that. I had some stuff. I was living in a little apartment in downtown, 250 square foot apartment, and I had a roommate, and
downtown Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. She moved in from Illinois.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, this is too much. This is too close for me. So I wound up leaving most of that. I think I took my bed and my clothes, you know, that's it. But I left like all the dishes, like everything else that was there. I was like, you just keep it. It's not, it's just stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care. Moved in with another friend who had everything, you know? So I just brought my bed, bought a desk at that point, and then I met, you know, this guy, and wound up moving in, and he had everything. So I just took my desk, gave up the bed. Like I gave up everything. I was like, I don't need it. Yeah. I had nothing except my studio equipment and my clothes, and that was it. Yeah. So when it was time to go, I was like, I fit it all in the backseat of my Honda Civic. Is it awesome? It was wild. As I was leaving, this story is this is how I knew I was going to love the South. So my best friend, she's my sister essentially, but she flew out to meet me, to drive with me from Southern Florida to Austin to help me move. So I mean, literally the backseat of my Honda is like piled high with just stuff. The trunk is like piled with stuff, and we're oddly having like a great time. Like we stop at a casino. We're just like rocking out. Like it's a great time. And we're getting through Louisiana, and it was just right after they had 2 hurricanes back to back. Like they were just demolished. And so the 10 freeway was like pretty messy. Like it was just, you could see like billboards were still ripped down. Wow. Like it was a disaster, really. And we're just laughing and laughing. I'm in the number 1 lane, in the left lane. And all of a sudden, the tire pops on the driver's side, and I was like, okay, here we go. So I get over to the side, and mind you, everything is like stuck in the back, and I hadn't paid the tag on my registration because I was like, I'm moving out of state. Like I'm not going to pay the California tag. So I have expired tags. I was like, this is going to be awesome. So we pull everything out, and mind you, it's like in garbage bags. I don't have much, right? Yeah. But there's like bras and underwear just like flying all over Highway 10. I'm like, well, I guess I lost that one. You know, like, sorry, Victoria's Secret, that was $50 down the drain. Not chasing that down the swamp. So I know that there's like a donut under there. Pull everything out, and mind you, this is a used car. This is not this. I bought this car 4 or 5 years ago. I've never needed this donut. So I know it's there, and I lift it up halfway, and then you lift it up all the way. Yeah. And underneath you see a half empty jug of vodka. Come on. And 4 Miller Lights. And I look at my best friend, and I was like, that's not mine. She's like, okay, redneck. Okay. So we get everything out, and it's like, what do you do? Like, there's no one there to help you. You're going to get on the ground. You're going to change your tire, you know? Yeah. So she's kind of like watching to make sure traffic isn't going to swerve, to warn me, whatever. So I'm trying to crank up the tire on the side of the 10. Like, we're so close to leaving Louisiana. Like, we're so close. Yeah. And so I'm like, just crank it up. And next thing I know, I mean, it wasn't more than a minute or two. And this 10-year-old boy is holding one of those beautiful Craftsman, you know, jacks, the red, you know, like the really sturdy ones where you just like foot pump it, you know? Yeah. And I look at him, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, but like, you're welcome to try. And so then as I stand up, I see like Dad, who looks like he's from Duck Dynasty. You know what I mean? Like he's got this like big old beard, and there's 2 more of his sons that are standing there, and he was like, you pump that up. You get over here in the lug nuts, ma'am. You're going to be back there. And I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. And he's just like dictating the whole thing. I was like, okay. So it's not even 15 minutes. The tires change, and a sheriff comes up. Like everything's done. All we have to do is like get rid of the tire. And she decides, she's like, just wanted to check in and make sure there's nothing I can do to help. And we're like, no, everything's good. She's like, she feels like she needs to do something. So she takes the tire and she puts it in the trunk. And I was like, cool, thanks. But I look back and there's like all of my clothes, like garbage bags full again of like bras, underwear, and like t-shirt just strewn out on the tent, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, that probably needs to go underneath. And I was like, well, the thing about that is, and I lifted up and the alcohol is still under there. And she was like, oh, honey, that should be in the front seat. And I was like, done and done. So my best friend starts taking it. She's like trying to pour it out. And the Duck Dynasty dad was like, that is a party foul. We're like, this is probably like 7 years old. Like nobody should drink this. It's terrible. So she puts it under and then I was like,
insulted.
I was like, the South is amazing. I think I'm going to like it here.
Yeah. Oh, so, really cool.
Yeah.
That's a great story. You know, it's good news.
It's just wild.
Yeah, it is wild. Well, it's great to see you, Maggie.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been
thank
fun.
you for coming.
No, thank you.
Yeah. And I hope you have fun with your friend. Is she gonna have a birthday party?
Yeah, we did last night, and then we're we're going to Palm Springs on Saturday. We're just gonna do a little Airbnb and just nice. Chill, girl time, hang by the pool. Cool. Yeah,
right on.
You know, make it a real vacation.
Yeah.
Haven't had one of those in a hot minute, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, that's great. Well, check out Maggie's album, her comedy album, musical album. It's out on Spotify and iTunes. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for doing the podcast.
I like Poop Dollar.
We like you too. All right. We'll see you. Bye.